Join Cardtricks live on Whatnot, the only place for regular wrestling breaks in the UK. Get £5 off your first purchase using code SCRNEW. Maybe that turns into your first run of one auto. Only one way to find out. Follow Cardtricks UK on Instagram and join the WhatsApp group via the link in the bio for all the latest news of what we are breaking and when. Let's get ready to rumble! Code only valid for first-time Cardtricks customers.
And now, presenting from across the pond, it's the Squared Circle Relics Podcast.
It's that time again. It is the Cardtricks pay-per-view bonus show. Me and Lloydy are here for you to run through SummerSlam and, of course, the big hits from the past month. Lloydy, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It'd be nice to Chris to do one of these one time.
I mean, he keeps going through MasterChef, you know. He's round to the next round now, isn't he? He's on the next bit of MasterChef. He's cooking for the critics now.
I'm only joking, Chris. I know he's going to listen to this and be really upset that I've just said that. But I'm joking. I'm joking. Life comes before. We all know this. But yes, good luck on MasterChef for the semi-finals.
That's right.
All good, mate. How are you? All happy in Jamie Land?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, not too bad. I had a bit of car trouble last week, nothing major, but that'll be 3 for the pod later on in the week anyway. But yeah, all good otherwise. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Now the weather's settled down a bit. I think we've all struggled over the last week. It just seems to have impacted everyone's night sleeps, basically. And yeah, it's fine.
Did you get the thunderstorms last week or not?
Not really, no. We
didn't get nothing either. There's loads of reports.
It feels like it should have really been a big one after like a couple of days of it, and it just never really came. So
no,
no, it's fine. It's fine. All good.
So let's we'll go through. So if you haven't listened to the Cardtricks bonus show before, we normally do a quick run through of the last pay per view. So this was SummerSlam. We'll go through what we expect for Panini Instants coming up. Whose cards I think are going up and whose are going down and who's are going to be in the middle, and then we'll go through the big hits for July. So Lloydy, should we get into SummerSlam?
Yeah, let's do it.
So before we get into it, what did you think of the setup being where they were in Ohio? Did you like where they were? Did you like the setup?
It's amazing, isn't it? Because it's the Cleveland Browns.
That's right, yeah.
Stadium, isn't it? I can't remember. God, what's the name of the stadium called? Travis will kill me.
The Cleveland Brown Stadium.
The London Brown Stadium. The Cleveland Brown Stadium. The Cleveland Browns have never won anything, by the way, ever. They've never won a Super Bowl, ever.
No.
And their stadiums are bigger than our stadiums in the UK. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't know what Trav thinks of Cleveland, but it looked really pretty from like the aerial shots coming through and by the lake and all that. You know, it looked quite a nice part of the world to go to and visit. And obviously everything seemed quite close together with the baseball ground and the basketball arena and stuff, you know. I
only made it as far as Columbus, Ohio. I never got to Cleveland, Ohio. But I love it over there. I think it looks very man-made and new, a lot of it.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a new city, doesn't it?
It does look like a new place. But I loved it over there. It was one of my favourite places to go, to be honest. So
because the National was there. Was the National there last week? They had moved it to Ohio, didn't they? So
yes, the National. Honestly, everything's going on in Cleveland at the minute. So yeah, the National was there.
I mean, had I thought further, I could have probably gone to the National and SummerSlam. I could have planned a week's holiday and done that. But
yeah. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. I think it was a great show, to be honest. Visually, it looks stunning all the way through. I love any kind of stadium show when it gets light into the dark, and then it makes.
I do too.
You know, those matches on dusk. You know, some of them are really spectacular, really, and a lot of them are for the forgotten matches, really. But yeah, there's some spice there. I think the dusk match tonight, wasn't it? I mean, we'll get through these in a minute, but it was CM Punk and Drew, wasn't it? It was just getting to that night, and it really felt like the switch to the big matches on that point. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed it. We do have to talk about the referee cam.
Oh,
that was strange.
Yeah. Very, very bizarre. Yeah, let's talk about that referee cam. Obviously, that was on there through the night, really, wasn't it?
It was, intermittently.
I appreciate them doing this sort of stuff, but
it was weird seeing Liv, like, her arse in shot, and then, like, right close. And then it would be like, oh, switch it quickly. Her ass is right next to it. You know what I mean?
Glitchy again, yeah.
But it was quite an inventive thing that they've done. I think I did like it, to be honest. It needs these different aspects that we're not used to anymore. Be it like
100%,
like never used to. So no, it'd be good. Some of them are going to be good. Some of them will keep. Some of them we won't. But ultimately, I'm glad they do it. You know what I mean?
Well, a few years ago, for a couple of WrestleManias, they done like VR or like 360 cams on the like turnbuckle post, and like they had those kind of footage. And they've kind of dabbled with this before, but ref cam I think could be used in quite a good way, really, to give another perspective.
I just don't know when, because you obviously don't want ref cam really going on. I mean, it works for like special guest referees, obviously, and we'll talk about that. But because the referee relays a lot of the information to the superstars about the wrestlers, about what's going on and stuff like that. So I don't know how good it's going to be in wrestling, to be honest, going forward. But on the occasional match, I think it'll be really good.
I wonder maybe if they might be going down the same sort of route like you do with F1 and like other sort of spots where you can have like the car cam, and maybe on the app you can pick just have the ref cam and you'll hear the commentary and it's like a silence and you can pick who you want, whose perspective do you want.
It'd be quite funny, actually. No, that was a unique thing that they brought in. What were your thoughts, Jamie? Anything else from your side about
I think the setup was quite nice. I like now this idea that the tradition is you got Mania and SummerSlam and obviously the Rumble as well now being stadium shows. And I think you're right, having that daytime into nighttime kind of makes it feel like a saga of an event, if that makes sense. You kind of get a nice change through. And like by the main event, you got that pitch black kind of traditional, and you forget it's an outdoor arena. I think that's really, really quite cool to now have that as kind of the tradition, really. And I don't know what the attendance was at the end, but, it was nearly a full crowd looking at it. Do you know what I mean? It was really good.
It's mad how big that stadium is, considering that American football team has never won anything.
Yeah, and you compare it to here.
I compare it to the MK Dons.
yeah.
Big stadium, team's done fuck all.
Yeah, no, good shout. Yeah.
But, no, it was great. It was visually... I think the thing is, the bar is so high on the production, because we've talked about this before. The production is the star of the show.
Yeah.
The bar's so high that it's like, if it is a bad show, I wouldn't even call it a bad show, but if it's not on par to what we're used to, I think it's going to be really noticeable these days. Yeah. So, I think knocked it out of the ground, really. Will it become... We'll talk about like the content of the show now. Will it become a classic? I don't know. There's elements for it to be remembered for a long period of time.
Yeah, I think there's definitely SummerSlam moments that make it that big SummerSlam moment. But I don't think if you put it against every other SummerSlam, I don't know where it would fit. Maybe after give it a month, where would you feel? But like as a weekend after, like I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on Raw tonight. And you don't. There was a period we never got that, did we? Really, post SummerSlam. No. So right, let's dive into it. Let's run through the card. We'll go from top to bottom, and we'll run through and give some sort of feedback and what we thought on each. So, show opened, which again is like one of the big things they started doing was obviously putting the women's title on first for these big events. So, we had Rhea and Liv opening up the show. Dirty Dom in the corner of Rhea. Did he end up that way at the end of the show? We'll find out. But what did you think of the match, and what did you think of how it all went down for the women's title?
Well, the first thing, I mean, it's hard. I know your stance on this going, in Jamie. You weren't a massive fan of it. It felt really, I don't know, childlike with regarding the storyline of all of this. The first thing I noticed when he was walking to the ring, i.e. Dom was walking to the ring, do you notice what he was wearing on his back? He had a backbone.
No, I didn't.
On the back of his waistcoat.
No.
And I was like, right. I don't know if he normally wears this, but when he went into that match, I was like, is it the fact that he's actually growing a backbone here and he's going to
maybe
stand up for himself? So I kind of thought something was going to happen at the start of the match where he would pyre off a bit, old Rhea. I think the match was really good.
I did too.
I think they're very athletic women. I think they play to each other's strengths, to be honest, both of those girls. Really, really good. Liv plateaued. Her development went so quick a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
around the Money in the Bank time, she went so quick, and then I was just a bit like, "Are you going to plateau a bit?" And I think she did for a while, but her character has been really good of late, and the whole thing with Dom's just been insane.
Yeah,
Go on, Jamie, you were going to say?
No, okay. I think they I think Liv, maybe at some point now, maybe I think she feels maybe she's got something to prove. Obviously, after what went on with her last year, and I know we joked on the pod about it, but I do feel like she's kind of had to prove her place back in the company, if that makes sense. And I think she's definitely hit it out the park. I think Rhea Ripley, when I was working on the shoulder and her, trying to pop it back into socket and kind of do that sort of storyline as well, was really quite good. Added kind of that extra caveat to it. But I thought the match was really good. I enjoyed it more than I did the Rhea Becky match at Mania. I thought it was really good.
That's the thing. I think these girls actually do click and have actually. I see these girls have actually having really good chemistry in the ring, with their characters, but with their wrestling type as well, their skills. I think it was much better than Becky, to be honest. No, really entertaining. Really enjoyed it. And who would have thought a heel turn? A heel doing another heel turn.
Heel turn, yeah.
Double heel. I think obviously I saw it coming, but
I think everybody did. But how it was going to happen is what people were wondering. Really well.
But it's just on the outside looking in, you don't normally see a heel becoming an even greater heel. No. I think the writing of that was really good. I think Dom. It's really weird, like, we're talking about the women's match and we're talking about the bloke in it, but for me, he was the element of this match that obviously made the match what it was at the end.
Yeah.
But for me, Tom is like Gen Z's Triple H. Every fucker hates him.
Yeah.
And, like, massively. All the kids that are growing up now are gonna, like, he's going to be what Triple H was for a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? Yeah,
so,
I agree.
But he's so, like, he doesn't do a lot. Like, he doesn't do much to garner this heat, right? He
doesn't need to, though, because he has head, doesn't he? Yeah, just has it.
Yeah. He just gravitates this heat towards him just because who he is, the little rat boy that he is. But ultimately, it's amazing that he's able to do that. And so many wrestlers would love to get that tiny little bit of that reaction that he gets.
I think that's now only going to grow, really, because, I think now he's grown that mullet out. He's got that sort of tash. I know, obviously, the Eddie look there, but I think that just adds to it. And that seems to be that sort of downfall of Dominic Mysterio is like just getting worse and worse. And that just goes with that kind of character going forward now.
It's just, I would like to see him as an actual wrestler at some point as well.
Yeah.
Like, apart from being cucked, basically, from woman to woman. I don't know. Like, I want to say the sky's the limit for him. I really do, because he has that heat on him. But I don't know if I class him as a wrestler anymore. He's more like, you know what I mean? He comes across as like a manager.
Well, is a match. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess he is at this point, isn't he, really? Because that's kind of, obviously, the end of the match, how it went down. Obviously, sliding the chair in to Liv, while trying to sort of pretend to hold Rhea. And even when that was all going down, like that smirk that he gives just as he knows what's going on in the first place, before even the big reveal, like it's all so subtle. Like if you're not watching heavy, you would miss it. And I can only liken that to like Paul Heyman, where like you keep watching what Paul Heyman's doing, although he's not on camera, he's always doing something, or he's always in character. And I think Dom does a manager role really good, so we'll wait and see.
Cool.
So at the end, obviously, you get Dom turning, Liv slipping a little bit of tongue at the very end into Dom's mouth at the end as well, which probably didn't go down too well. But yeah, no, really good opener to the show. So so the next one, Lloydy, this was one of your ones that you were looking forward to, I think, more. I think, Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn for the IC title. What are your thoughts going into this?
Finally, my dude's done it for now. Anyway, the thing is with Bron, I love him to bits. I want him to be this destroyer of. I want him to be the next Ultimate Warrior, the next Goldberg, the next destroyer of men. Honestly, he's so. We say it time and time again. He's so quick. He's so athletic. He looks like $1 million. He is $1 million. What you say that? What's $1 million going to get you these days?
No, yeah.
But I think it's great, and great to give him the belt. Happy days. What he does with it next, not sure. I mean, he's playing the bad guy now. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, he got a good crowd response there. Like, there were enough people cheering for him at the end, though. Like, he could be moved into that sort of face position, like you said, become that next Ultimate Warrior type thing.
I just hope he doesn't go to the Big Show kind of the spot where he's bad guy, then good guy, then bad guy, then good guy. Because I don't know. I think he needs to find that where he is on that roster. But I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him as the company babyface. Go after Gunther, destroy him. We'll get to the Gunther spoilers. But like, the sky's the limit with him. I keep saying it week on week, month on month. I say it. Sky's the limit with him. Everyone knows. It's no secret anymore. I don't think it was a big secret at the start of all of this, to be honest. But he's. I will. When we talk in the whose cards are up and down, but there is something to talk about with Bron Breakker. But no, really cool, and yeah, I can't wait to see what he does next.
No, I do too. I think obviously now he's cemented that position where he is in the card. I think if he can have a good run now, like you look what that done to Gunther having a nice long run. I think if you can do the same with Bron and let it run through. I mean, you could build him up to actually be something you could contend for, the World Heavyweight belt next year's mainly, couldn't you? At this point, do Bron and Gunther then or something. But I will say what I do like about Bron Breakker as well. Like obviously they've been building up the spear and over and over, and the commentators kept saying hitting Sami Zayn with 23 miles an hour of spear, and you think actually, that isn't really the case, but that just make that sound more, that back and forth on the ropes to build up the momentum. It just adds something to him. And again, I think that's just great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it's a nice difference to have that kind of spear compared to everyone else's spear.
Yeah.
Reminds me a bit of was it Monty Brown, the pounce.
The pounce. Yeah, exactly.
That kind of veracity and velocity to it. I love it. I think it's great. Honestly, I'm never going to say a bad word against Bron. You know what I mean? So, and it does now free up Sami to go back to bloodline work as well, which
we'll see. Yes,
will spoilers. I keep saying spoilers. We're going to get there.
Okay, but no, yeah, I agree. I think this now gets Sami free of that and can move to where he needs to go. Really, so yeah. So top marks from there. Glad to see Bron with the belt, and again, second title change of the night. So match number 3 for the US title, we had LA Knight and Logan Paul. Logan Paul having his very first wrestling match ever in Cleveland. It's a bit of a hometown return, booed and hated by the fans, of course. LA Knight loved. What do you think of the match in general, Lloydy? What do you think of this one?
I think we can skip over a lot of this by just saying springboard off the top rope that Paul did, which was amazing. He's so athletic, and to see him do that kind of thing is mind-boggling, considering he's had hardly any training. He is a phenomenon. He really is. And I think, but the whole match can be summed up at the end with the brass knuckles to LA Knight's head. He completely no-sells it completely, and then goes and wins the match. And he, even after the bells rung, he's not even like clutching his head or
shaking
anything
his
like
head.
that. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And I just thought that is the worst thing I've ever seen LA Knight do. It's the worst thing I've seen on this show so far on that evening, and still going. It's the only thing I've kind of thought about that match since seeing it. To be honest, I thought it was disgusting. That, like, why would LA Knight do that? He was calling the match, right?
Yeah.
You could hear that he was calling the match. He is a veteran of many, many years. He's about the same age as me, I think. He's a veteran of many, many years. He knows what he's doing. But to do that kind of shit, I just thought, why?
Yeah, I wondered as well, because I thought when the match started, obviously they had that breakdown at the beginning and obviously the brawl out the side, the front. I thought it was going to end up being a squash, and I was like, what's this trend? They're going in for a complete squash here, sort of thing, you know. Yeah. But then obviously it turned into a bit more of a match. But I wondered whether or not this was, is Logan on his way out? As because this is his like second SummerSlam, isn't it? I don't know if this is maybe his swan song, but
third?
Yeah, it might be his third. Yeah, it might be.
Could be.
But I wondered whether or not this was like kind of like, you know, he's had the belt run and this is him going away for a bit, maybe. But yeah, LA Knight in that first bit was all over, really, wasn't he? You know,
nice to see Machine Gun Kelly back roaming around. I do like Machine Gun Kelly, so cool. Other than that, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much more in the match for really. Therefore, but again, one thing to note there is our third title change of the night. You know,
yeah.
So 1-1-1. So yeah, very interesting moving through. So we then move through to Nia Jax and Bayley for the women's title. So Bayley, of course, winning the belt at Mania. Nia Jax winning Queen of the Ring, and this is where it brings us up to now. What did you think of this initially? Have you enjoyed the build?
We can just go another title change on this one, Jamie. This was the good old I need a pee break. The only thing of note on this was Tiffy came out with the suitcase, with the briefcase, with the suitcase. She's going on holiday. She's going on holiday.
Going down the market.
You know what I mean? Someone should bring in a suitcase. It'd be hilarious. With the briefcase, got twonked.
Come down on one of those trunkies.
She got twonked off the side before she could cash in, and then Nia basically destroyed Bayley after that. But the match was just rubbish. I didn't, you know, that this match had to happen.
Yeah.
It was like, it feels like Bayley was a placeholder. To be honest, it felt like Io Sky was a placeholder. It felt like Bayley was a placeholder. It feels like Nia's a placeholder.
I feel that she's a placeholder too. Yeah.
But it just feels like a placeholder to what? Is Tiffy the end goal on this now? I think Io was so. the end goal, really, but that didn't work out. But we just keep going from these women from one to the next, and it doesn't feel like there's no story, really. There's no passion there, really, from the WWE to actually mold anything around anyone at the minute. It just feels really flat, and it's coming and going, really, this belt, to be honest. So
yeah,
I think we all believe, right, that Tiffy's going to win it at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, Nia Jax, I mean, I'm not a fan of Nia Jax anyway. I do think this, again, is going to be a short title run. And this belt definitely feels like the secondary women's belt. Like, I don't know whether or not you actually then want to eventually combine the two together or do, you know, a unifying type thing, because there is nothing really ever going on with this belt. I really think they put their money on Io to do well. Yeah,
I really think that they try to invest in her because they thought that she would be kind of what the future is, and it just didn't work for her.
No,
sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's But I think they've been scrambling ever since. I think they gave it to Bayley because it seemed like a good idea to kind of break that damage control up and to give Bayley her a good moment. Yeah. That happened. But I just don't see where they're going with it, to be honest. I don't see where they're going with this belt at all, other than Tiff at some point.
So if they do go with Tiff then cashing in on Nia, or, or if it's going to even be later on, do you think it's going to be her winning and beating Nia, or do you think it's going to be a failed cash in, or where do you see... Because Tiffy's only been on the main roster a little while, hasn't she? So
they seem to really love Nia back in there. I just find it so weird. Like, Nia was never a great worker. She used to beat people up. She had her problems with Charlotte. She broke Becky Lynch's nose with that potato. Yeah. Just like there's so many issues with her. She had knee issues that kept persisting, and it ultimately led to her being released.
Got released, yeah.
And then they brought her back, and it's like her hole don't stink. My hole. Yeah. My hole. Which I just find extremely bizarre. I think obviously Triple H or someone in the back really loves her. I think they must think she's a really good worker and cool, but not for me. I don't think...
Rock, mate. The Rock's a big fan of us. What it is. It's family.
Probably, yeah. I don't know, man. I think it's just such a waste, and to spend time on SummerSlam doing that match, I was just like, seriously. They should have just had Tiffy cash in, and they should have had Nia win and then Tiffy cash in and then just roll on with Tiffy now.
I'll call it now. Nia Jax will lose the belt on Friday. I'm calling it next SmackDown. She's going to cash in and lose the belt. And that will be the next feud, Nia versus Tiffy.
Cool.
So we'll see. Right, we'll move on to what was really one of the main events as such, really. We're going to go CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins as special guest referee. Now, obviously going into it, everyone was saying SummerSlam 97. They all played into that. Commentators made note of it. And I want to talk about the attires, first of all, how they also played into it as well. What do you think of the attires? As soon as I saw the CM Punk pink and black, I thought, we know we're doing it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think this match, the best thing about this match is where it actually started.
Yeah.
Like, them two backing up. And, there was two great things about this match. One, at the start... and Seth's backing them all up across the ring, like midway in the ring, so they're staring at each other. It felt like a big match.
Massive match.
And as they went for each other, Seth ran out of the way. It felt like a big match.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's great. You don't see that often on matches anymore. It felt like a big boxing match. It really did. It was really cool the way they did that. The second great thing that they did was CM Punk said, "I don't give a damn about your Sabu pants." That got lost in the wash. To Seth Rollins. That got lost in the wash, but I did really love that comment. I think it was amazing because he was wearing sparkly Sabu pants.
He was proper parachute pants, yeah.
But for me, everything was let down because of this fucking bracelet. Sorry, Margaret. This bracelet that they keep, like, for that to have been his demise, his little girly bracelet with his doggy's name on it and his wife's name on it. I was like, we were talking about earlier on, Jamie, you didn't like the premise of the first match going into the first match because it felt like a bit kiddie storyline kind of thing. You're talking about a fucking bracelet. Sorry, Margaret, again, but you're talking about a bracelet. It just felt really strange that was the demise of Punk. So yeah, not for me.
Have you seen the lady on Twitter who the origins of this bracelet came from? Have you seen that exploding today online or not?
No, and generally couldn't give a fuck.
Sorry, no, it's just a lady gave Punk that bracelet at a meet and greet at WrestleMania, just a fan, and she gave it to Punk when she met him.
Right, so it didn't even come from his wife.
Didn't even come from his wife, and it's her bracelet she gave Punk with their names on it. Right. And it's just ended up in the storyline, and she had no idea, just recognised it on telly, and it's just been involved.
It's
in all
really
this.
Strange.
And she's got no recognition, and she's just like, "Oh no, I gave Punk that." You think it's so bizarre how it's now become this object of this massive feud, and it's been passed around everybody.
I just don't understand it. I just find it so weird and strange, and that is out of all the storyline that they have put into this, that object is like the ring from Lord of the Rings. It's so weird, man. Like, the rest of the match was good. I like the match. I like the fact that Drew was destroying him most of the match. I thought that was accurate.
I mean, he was dominating the whole match pretty much, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah, until the end. Yeah. And it was. I didn't mind the ending of it. It was just the fact that bracelet was involved. I just found it so strange, mate. I found it. It's not intelligent programming. It made me feel like I'm watching kids in a playground fighting over a bracelet. Felt really strange.
I'm hoping that will be the end of the bracelet situation.
I can't believe we're actually talking about this. I really can't. It seems so surreal that this is a conversation between us.
It's so bizarre. But I do. I'm glad they also got the Summerslam thing out of the way sort of earlier on in the match and kind of done the sort of the chair shot piece, and it didn't just finish as you expected.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was nice to have those kind of connotations, which is always quite good. But I think the next paper, obviously, again, we are going back to 97. They're bringing back Bad Blood in October. So again, we're building probably to Hell in the Cell, I guess, aren't we? Yeah. Between Punk and Rollins, I guess, in Hell in the Cell, or even Drew and Punk.
Well, it's gonna be a 3-way at some point, isn't it? It's gonna be
it might be a 3-way Hell in the Cell, or something.
I think that'd be quite cool.
I mean, I don't know if we've got anything else. I guess we've got a September pay-per-view, but Bad Blood's in October, so that'll be the big blow-off match there, I assume. So, we'll move on now to our World Heavyweight title match. So, Damian Priest and Gunther. I guess the initial thoughts on this was I like this match a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Agreed.
But what do you think, Lloydy?
No, I completely agree. I like the match. I think it was well worked. There wasn't that many botches that I can remember, which is nice. I just find it a shame for obviously Priest, because obviously, so Gunther won, he won the title. But I do find it such a shame for Priest that it's kind of the end of a really shitty title reign. But I don't know, like, he's going to be remembered as not being a good champion. He's going to be remembered as being botch face. It's just going to happen. Like, that's what people are going to think about it.
I think Gunther is now. I think Gunther was always primed for this position. I think it moves Priest onto something else. It moves him into obviously the feud with Balor going back. I think they said it goes back a year, obviously from when the Money in the Bank cash in type deal. It adds to the demise of the Judgment Day. So I think ultimately it just gets Priest.
But it
away
didn't
from that
add
and
anything to
else.
Gunther.
No, it didn't.
Like, he went away with that title, and that wasn't the talking point. The talking point was obviously Finn screwed Priest, right? Screwed him out of the match. Finn's gun as he turned round. It was a proper gun.
It looked very, very comedic.
It was really. It's like
he's been
practicing in the mirror for a long time. Good old Gurn.
Angry eyebrows are on.
Was that in Blackpool? Do they do the Gurning Championships every year?
They put a horseshoe around their neck, didn't they?
Yeah, it'd be good up there. I just think obviously that is going to be the next thing going forward. But yeah, again, where does Gunther go from here now? Like, he's a champion that's just kind of really been given the belt, and it just feels like another one that potentially could be a placeholder when a lot of it's been building up for Gunther to actually win this title. The only way he's going to turn the tide on this potentially is if he has a big run with the championship. But
which I think he's going to, isn't he, really?
Until he runs into Braun down the line.
Which, you could have that build now till Mania. Gunther's been primed to have, he's had the long IC title run. He's primed now to have this long run. I don't know who you give him a title shot against next? Do you then have, because you don't really want to do Drew and Gunter again because we've had that.
But that's the problem. That's the problem, mate. Like, you've got those the other three big boys on the roster are fighting each other.
Yeah.
You've got Drew, Punk, and Rollins fighting each other. You've got Finn fighting Priest now.
Yeah.
Who's left for Gunter on that roster to fight?
I mean, you've got Uso, but again, you're not. You've had those chances. It ain't going to be much more of a different match. I don't know. It's going to be. This would be really telling what they now do with Gunter and see where it goes from here. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we do with him anyway. Really,
Logan Paul,
maybe. I don't know if there's a draft. They normally do a draft, don't they, twice a year? Maybe there might be a draft come up potentially, swap things around a bit. Dirty Dom, you could have Dirty Dom and Gunter to have a bit of a feud, make it the power couple type thing.
I'd be surprised, but you never know.
I'll be surprised too. But I was trying to figure out as well, with Judgment Day, digressing a little bit, are they still tag team champs, Balor and JD? They are, aren't they?
That's the thing. I was going to actually say this. Like, obviously, the Bloodlines got the championship on the other show.
Yeah.
I can't even remember for the life of me who's actually got the tag team belts on Raw.
I thought it was JD and Finn. I thought the Judgment Day still had the tag belts. But that does leave them too. So obviously those guys can still be a team together in theory. Priest, and then you've got Dom. I mean, you've kind of got that breakdown already. But
I think the Judgment Day's completely done now. Yeah. I wouldn't be
Clubhouse
surprised
being cleared out tonight, mate.
Yeah, I think it's donezo, which is.
Okay. I mean, it's done better than it could have done. I mean, this was dead in the water when Edge was in it, and everyone was saying how crap it's going to be. I mean, they've built this up around Rhea and Dom ultimately for the last two and a half years potentially.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they've got legs out of it really from what it could have been. So,
well, I still think because obviously in real life, Priest and Rhea are real friends, aren't they?
Yeah, they're good buds, yeah.
Theoretically, the Judgment Day might carry on through them.
Well, you could do Priest and Rhea versus Dom and Liv, couldn't you? Do some mixed tag stuff, and I mean, there's some stuff still we can do, isn't there? So, we'll see. We'll see where we go. Before we get to the main event, we had a little bit of an in-ring section with Jelly Roll making his appearance in the ring. Everyone, of course, is pretty much talking about the choke slam. But what do you think of this little in-ring cameo? And do you think we're going to see more of Jelly Roll in WWE?
I saw someone call him Toast Malone. Shout out for Cardtricks. The messaging sites on whatnot for that.
I thought
WhatsApp. Sorry. It was very good. That was very good. The segment wasn't good. It was. I think a lot of people have obviously said around the fact that what's his name got buried. The Austin Theory got buried, taking the choke slam from Jelly Roll, who I'd never heard about before, to be honest.
I thought it was Rag and Bone Man.
I think it was Rag and Bone. He looks exactly like him. But ultimately, I've never heard about him. I'll probably never hear him again unless he turns up in WWE. Glad he's had his moment. That's done. At Austin Theory's detriment, probably.
Oh, I mean, it's not the end. I mean, God, how many people have been attacked by celebrities throughout the years, no matter who they are? Bloody,
oh yeah, but they never do well though afterwards. No, they never do well though afterwards. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a bit of a death knell when a celebrity beats you up. It's like off your part. I don't think Triple H has really rated it. I think he was Vince's boy, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Vince's boy, wasn't he? It was like the last thing Vince was trying to push through, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, the chokeslam was really good. Looked like a classic Taker chokeslam, and Theory put his heart and soul into taking that, and it looked pretty good for that moment. And that's the gift that's been going around. So it done what it needed to, didn't it? Really,
Yeah.
So
if they needed to do it, then yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I do love a celebrity in WWE occasionally, but when it's maybe Jelly Roll is very well known in the United States, but
get that Jelly Roll rookie, mate.
Internationally, he's not well known. If we don't know who he is, he's not well known.
I mean,
And
there'll be a load of cool kids listening to this. They're in their early 20s now. Jelly Roll's a massive star like Bad Bunny is.
Oh, yeah, all right.
But we'll see. So let's move on to... No, me neither. Move on to our main event then for the night. Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa. We'll go through kind of initial thoughts on the match. I think really for me, it was an all right Cody match. I don't think it lived up to some of the other Cody main events. I think he's kind of, the matches are what they are, and you expect them to be bloodliney type matches. I think the whole match was just built into what people expected at the end. I will say it was interesting when everything went quiet and you had that moment. There were so many people chanting yeet, 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 and still didn't twig that it maybe Reigns coming back. I don't know what you thought of the actual match, but I was really surprised that people were still thinking it was going to be Uso instead.
I think the match was pretty standard, to be honest. I think they're very good wrestlers. I think Cody's, one of the best in the world at the minute. I think Solo is learning his craft each and every week, and he's getting better and better and better, and the sky's the limit for him, really. It just felt to me, even with the big reveal at the end, it just felt like another bloodline match that we've had for many years now. So the match starts, there's some bullshit interference throughout the match, people beating up, getting thrown in the near falls with people coming in and beating people up, and then getting thrown out the ring by other people, the more near falls, and that's what happens in the bloodline type matches. And then something big generally happens at the end, a bit of a shocker, especially on big pay-per-views, and then normally the big person wins, like Roman has done forever, and now it's Cody's doing it now. So he's now beating them at their own game with their own people. So it was good.
It was good. It was pretty cool seeing Roman come back like that.
I say to you every time, mate, it feels like a Ruthless Aggression type era match. And it always ends up on the outside on that announcer's table. I say it every time, Jamie. I say it every time.
It's good. Sadly, it's really good.
Sadly, Jacob Fatu looks like he's done his ankle in going off that ladder.
I was going to say this. Yeah, I mean, he was obviously sitting down, and obviously that's the end shot. Now, there's been videos of him in a boot, actually, going around online today. So I think he's legit hurt, but hopefully it won't be too long. But shit, really, because he was just kind of getting momentum. Everyone was really, really loving him,
You could tell he was bad because he was just, he couldn't even stand on it. So
he tried to, he just couldn't get up so quickly. He was fucked. Yeah, poor fucker. Sorry, Margaret.
The big reveal at the end, I think we all knew it was coming at some point. But the thing is, I just wish it was a bit later on. It wasn't SummerSlam. Yes, WrestleMania does feel like a while ago now, but it's like the start of April. We're now in August, so it hasn't been it's been 4 months.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's been enough time for Roman to come back. Like maybe in November, Survivor Series. I think just give him that more extra time. Let us want him to come back. Let us, because we had Roman shoved down our throats for a long time. I think at some point you just want to miss somebody, and I don't feel like any of us have had that opportunity to want to miss him that much. No,
and things haven't moved on as much. I mean, I guess the next thing is trying to figure out, when do we start seeing Paul Heyman come back in? Like, will Roman Reigns, start being the protector of people? And
the flip side of that is that we would obviously want Solo's bloodline to develop further as well, and I don't think that's
before they get destroyed.
Yeah, I don't think that's had the time it's needed either, especially when another brother's coming across as well, right? Who is going to be coming across. So, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's been marinated enough. They obviously know what they're doing, and we're obviously wrong with our thoughts and feelings about it, obviously, because they know what they're doing. They're WWE. So, now he is back. The positives are we're going to get a massive bloodline feud across the family. It's going to be amazing. So hopefully they bring back Sammy for it as well, because that would be hilarious.
But I'm just having a look now. So, I mean, the next pay-per-view, so we've got Bash in Berlin, which is already going to be about Gunther, isn't it? That's the end of August.
Yeah, Gunther, he's going to bring the belt over, yeah, Kartoffelpuffer, yeah.
In the daytime, yeah. Then
you wanting to go tonight? No, it's going to be all night for Gunther, yeah.
Is that your sexy Gunther voice?
Well, my German voice is quite is quite a sexy voice.
Very stereotypical, very stereotypical German voice. And then so we get that out of the way. Then there's nothing September. We've got Bad Blood October 5th. So I can imagine that's probably going to be Reigns and Solo, maybe a one-on-one type match, and then that might be where we get Hikuleo potentially. Then we've got Crown Jewel November, 2nd of November, and then we've got Survivor Series at the end of November. So we don't have that much time. So I mean, there's not like loads of shows in between, so you can still build up that stuff over the next few months. But you really need to let that simmer a bit more, like you said, to develop that new bloodline as a real threat.
They're now, because I thought they were bringing back on Survivor Series, but now they're obviously bringing them back to fight each other at Survivor Series. Yeah. So it will be Bloodline at Survivor Series, which makes perfect sense, really. Yeah, you know, it's just, I just thought I'd like to miss Roman Reigns for a change. You know what I mean? Like, give him. Like, he's been doing it for a long time now. Was it 3 years?
I mean, like, they could rewrite him out again. Maybe they smash him up next week, and then you don't see him for a bit more. I mean, because they've kind of done with Kenny Omega, didn't they? In AEW, like they've written him back off for a time being. So, maybe you can do that with Reigns. But I don't know. We'll see.
Or what they do with The Rock as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where does Rock land in all this as well? Yeah. Exactly. Right. So, what do you think of SummerSlam overall? And did you enjoy it? I thought it was good as well.
Solid. I'd say like 8.5 out of 10, something like that. It was good. There were some really high highs and some really low lows, but ultimately I think it was good. It was very watchable. The production is always the king of it all. If they didn't have the production value that they had, it would probably be like 7.5, because it just adds to it. I feel they've nailed, I know we said this before about the production for Mania, but I feel like they've now nailed this new feel of things, like the way the commentators are more loose, they're dropping things here and there. Yeah. I just think the way they're trying new things, I just think it just feels like they're trying to make this new image brand of the way they present themselves, and I think it's actually really good. I really enjoy the way they're presenting themselves, and what they're doing, mixing in different stuff. I think it still makes them feel different to anything else out there. I know they're, they feel distinct. Like if you watch AEW or TNA or anything else, like they all feel different, and I think that's what you want. You don't want people doing the same thing, really. And agreed.
Production-wise, they're just cracking on there. So, cool. So let's move on to the next bit then. So Panini Instants, as always, we don't know when they'll land. They always sort of side us. We don't know when they're going to appear. But I mean, what images do you expect, and what autos do you expect to be seen for Panini Instants this time around? If we can guess what it might be.
Well, considering we had like all of the I think they're going to be quite boring, because a lot of them are going to be title change ones.
And same images as we've seen before from people.
Yeah, I think autographs, I think we will see Gunther. I think we will see Nia. LA Knight maybe, Braun maybe, Rhea maybe. But I hope Braun, because that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because we haven't had a Braun instant auto yet, have we?
No. So that would be really cool if we did.
I think we'll definitely, I mean, if you can get, I don't know if you'll be looking out for it, but if you had a Braun Breaker and could get the 1-of-1 with him with the belt up, I mean, that would be a really nice one to have, holding the belt at the end.
I'll try, but me trying to get that, I think, will be
a tough challenge.
Yeah. But I'll try. I'll try. If it's there and it's a good price, I'll try.
I think we're going to probably get, I mean, when they go up, it's later this week. Hopefully we should see him go up this sort of time, shouldn't we, later in the week? But I I'm hoping that we'll probably see a Dom and Liv. I think there may be an image of those two at the end of the ramp, potentially. And I think as well, I think we'll probably get a picture of Punk, Drew and Seth at the beginning of that match all in the ring together, that initial pose. And I think that's pretty much it, really. Unless we probably will get a Taker return one, won't we? I think will be another one that we'll get. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all we'll get, sort of card-wise, really. So, So yeah, go to the next segment really quickly then. So we always run through quickly who we think cards are going up, who's are going down, or who's are going to be staying in the middle. Lloydy, who do you think are going to be cards to look out for post SummerSlam?
I really want to say Dom because I think he deserves it now. But the problem is I'm not sure if he will or not. Because when it comes to heel cards are always kind of like they never go as much as the baby faces do, it feels. And considering he's not really a wrestler anymore, I don't know. Like, I want him to have a boost in profits, you know what I mean? So, I want it, but I don't know if he will or not, sadly.
I was having a quick look online at Dom's very first auto, so that one that was on the Tops Now set. I mean, that price is now in the mid 3 figures. You know, so that card is going up and up and up. So I mean, I think early Dom cards, I think people will try and get those. I think there's going to be more demand. I don't think the price will go up, but I think there'll be more demand on them. I definitely think like Dom spots in breaks will end up being more and more expensive. I think people will get onto them a bit more there.
They're still quite cheap at the minute.
Oh, are they?
They're not like outrageous.
So we'll see if that trend stays. Bron Breakker, I think obviously his prices are always pretty high anyway, but I think
let's not talk about this. Let's not talk about this.
Well, sorry if you've already got Bron cards, it's if you're trying to get some new ones.
But that's the problem, you know what I mean? It's a dual-edged sword. I want it to go up, but I want to still PC him at the same time. And at the minute, it's bad enough as it is. So, no, honestly, Bron to the moon. The more he does, the more he wins, the more his cards are going to go up. So we're at I still think we're at the start of all of it, really. And I think his card prices are high anyway. I think his break prices are relatively high. They're not massive compared to other people, I don't think, just yet, but they're getting there. And I just think his price is just going to go up and up and up.
I do too.
The more he wins. So the thing is, like, I think people do get, like, look at Goldberg's prices. They're not massive, are they?
No.
So I don't know, man. We'll see. I think he's loved by a lot of people. I think everyone can just see how athletic he is, how quick he is. I think you know what I mean, that the sky's the limit with his card prices as well. But
yeah.
The reason I'm like this is that I know that at some point I'm just going to be like, I can't PC him anymore. I just can't. It's just too expensive.
Big priced up. Yeah.
So I'm getting to that point slowly at the minute, and it's starting to hurt me.
Let's not depress yourself any further on that then already. Let's be glad that you don't probably PC Tiffany Stratton or Liv Morgan, because both of their cards are still going up for the roof. And Liv Morgan's, her prices have always been high. But Jesus, some of her early cards from those sort of top sets, they're through the roof at the moment. So I think
Tiff has kind of stayed the same. I think she's gone down a little, not much, but gone down a little after the first wave that she went through a couple of months ago. Now, Liv is just, yeah. I mean, her prices have always been high. I think they always will be high, to be honest.
That's right. I'll hold on to my green Liv forever and ever and see.
Yeah. But Gunter, I don't think it's done any good for him. Priest, Cody, Solo, I don't think their prices are going to be moved by these matches. I don't think LA Knight either, really.
I mean, none of the Bloodline. I mean, most of the Bloodline guys are in that. You know, the Leaf Heroes of Wrestling set that I love. Their prices on their autos aren't moving at all, and that's their first auto, so it's crazy, really. So it does show you how people aren't sort of in there yet.
Is it?
I'm not sure.
What?
I thought it was some of them.
What? Tamatonga and Tanglao?
Yeah, I thought they were. Yeah, I thought so.
Okay. It isn't. I've got their first I've got their first autograph. Yeah.
Hit me up. Okay, let me know what it is.
I'll send you a picture of it later. But I've got an out of 25 of their dual auto, tag team auto.
Nice.
So
okay.
I made sure I got that when I first. I'm Bullet Club through and through, man.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I know. I didn't realise.
But yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I think
Always
it's in
learning, mate.
2018 set, something like that.
Okay.
Something like
Always learning. Or is it a Leaf one? Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, fair enough. All right. I'll take that back. Fine.
It's all right. I'll send you a photograph
for
of it
life. Cool.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I first came into it's one of the first things I wanted to get because I've met those boys. I love those boys. I think they're great.
Mm.
Well, I had a voice message from Tamatonga on my 40th birthday.
Did you really? Nice.
I had a cameo.
Really cool.
Leavers for life. We're both born on the same. We're both same date birthday was. So I think I'm a year younger than he is.
Wow.
I think he's a year older than me. But yeah.
Nice. That's really cool. Yeah, send me a picture of that. I'll be interested to see that. So
I'll dig it out.
Cool. So final segment then of the Cardtricks SummerSlam edition of the bonus show. The big hits from July. So, I mean, Cardtricks again have been hitting banger after banger. Lots and lots of Immaculate, of course, are ripped throughout the month. How do you want to do this, Lloydy? Do you want to go through one each and then go through, or should we just chat as we go on the list?
I'll go first. So go on. I'll go with Immaculate 1 of 1 CM Punk, but it was the base because he doesn't have an auto in that set anyway, does he?
No, he didn't. No.
It's only the base, but yeah, amazing. And then in the same box, Jamie,
we had the Immaculate 1 of 1 Live past and present card, which again, a massive card. And the guy was saying in the WhatsApp group today some of the offers he's had on that card since then. But to be in the same box, 2 1 of 1s, crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's like a god box. I think they call that.
Yeah,
scary. Okay, so Immaculate had a 10 Dom rear dual auto mem, and also a rear auto out of 99. Believe in the same box as well.
They were in the same box, and I was in this break actually watching this one.
Crazy.
So the guy had the rear spot, obviously got the rear, and then the 10 came out afterwards. Spun the wheel and walked away with both for 1 rear spot. Again, same box, crazy. I think that's probably the same weekend as well. I'm not sure, but yeah, again, 2 big autos out of the same box there. So, the next one, again, Immaculate. We've had a Cody Rhodes out of 25 auto mem relic. Again, nice multicolor patch. Nice Cody auto on that one.
And then staying with Immaculate, just the last one, potentially. I think it's the last one on the list. Dude loved 49 auto all-time greats. It's it's lovely to see his on-card autos, isn't it? Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the best that does it. So great.
And then we move into some Chronicles bits and pieces. So we've got Booker T. We had the gold season ticket auto come up out of a box, which again, Booker T autos are always nice and clean and always within the sticker, which is always nice to see as well.
Let's move over to AEW and Tony Nese. 1 of 1 auto AEW metal. So that's a bit, I mean, it's not a PMG because the autos weren't PMGs, right? But
yeah,
really mental on there. Like, we do know someone who is a Tony Nese collector, don't we? I'm sure we do. One of the Card Foundation boys.
Oh, really? A Tony Nese fan?
There's a Tony Nese fan over there somewhere. So, yeah, just that's crazy that someone's pulled that because I'm sure I know someone. It's just such a niche. It's such a niche thing to collect, isn't it? Tony Nese.
Announcers and referees.
Yeah. Go on then, Jay. Finish us off.
Yeah, then we had another AEW, so we had a green PMG for Anna Jay. So again, someone making the news last week, but nonetheless, Anna Jay, another nice hit from them on the metal.
And to round it out, I believe, R-Truth's and Lesnar's Tiger parallels. Amazing. Love the R-Truth and love R-Truth, love Tiger parallels. Used to love Lesnar and Tiger parallels with him, but obviously, I'm going to say he took the piss.
Times have changed with Lesnar.
Yeah, sadly. But yeah, no, Tigers are the best thing ever. I think I loved all the animal prints. I still do. I think they're cool. I actually love in Select with like ELP. They do. I'm sure they do it with other sports and stuff like that. They do camo, and I would love. Nice. I think there's a big miss that they never did camo for WWE stuff. I thought that would be quite cool. They did. I've seen green camo, but they've also done blue camo recently. I think that would have been so cool.
Oh, nice.
But we've had loads of animals we haven't had yet as well, like snake and stuff like that. I think that would have been really cool. Can you imagine Randy Orton in a snake?
In a snake, yeah.
Yeah, man. That would have been class. So, just fingers crossed we get the last year of Select out of it. It would be really cool if we do.
I mean, as we're recording this now, Cardtricks are doing a Select rip at the moment as well. So I think Chris is sort of prepping people to maybe fall in love with the Select yet again. So, yeah, we'll see what happens on that break. And just an honourable mention, last of all, so our own Chris got the Select ringside out of 10 gold for Undertaker. And I know it was a card that he was after.
Yes.
A really, really big card for him. I think he was over the moon for that, wasn't he, Lloydy?
He was. I reminded you to put this on this list, and I completely forgot about
That's
it.
That's right. I wrote it on the last minute.
Well done. Well done for remembering. Yeah, no, really cool. I mean, that's Taker's last match, isn't it, on that card? Yeah. So it's really cool.
So yeah, again, another big
get
month
it as well. He was very. He was really pleased.
But yeah, another big month for Cardtricks, and again some massive cards there, and again lots of content from them. So I guess we're going to finish up now for the bonus episode. So we'll be back for the proper episode of the pod later on this week, so 57. So look forward to seeing that at the end of the week. We'll have all the usual stuff. We're going to be doing the reveal of the Nook. Tommy from the ATP is going to be doing his $10.40.
Hopefully, if he gets in the message time. He has changed the reason that it's late and you haven't got it yet is because he has changed his selection.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets in on time. So fingers crossed.
Okay, well, we'll see where we go with that in that case.
Yeah.
And before we just finish up, Lloydy, we're going to have another little bonus episode from you later this week as well, I think.
Yeah, 5 questions go, I think the name of it's going to be. So recording this after tonight actually as well. So yeah, it's just going to be 5 questions that people have given me to answer, and I'm going to crack on and do it.
Boom. So yes, look out for that landing then.
Yes.
And yeah, that's pretty much it from the bonus episode. Just a quick reminder, so you'll find us, as always, on the normal feed. If you haven't used Cardtricks before on Whatnot, you can now use the code SCRNEW, and that'll give you £5 off your first purchase, so no excuse not to give them a try. Again, lots going on every day of the week now with Cardtricks, and I've also got the second channel for other sports. So everything there, if you want to have a look, you can find them Whatnot. And we'll see you at episode 57. Lloydy, see you on Thursday.
Cheers, mate. Thank you all. Bye.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Join Cardtricks UK on Whatnot Daily, your only stop for regular wrestling breaks in the UK. Ooh, Chris, Casper, and the team welcome you to join the hunt for rare autographs, relics, and one-of-ones from wrestling stars past, present, and future. What you gonna do, brother?